Okay, I'm not sure what version of Filmora you're using. If it's before version 13, then or older than version 13, your only option probably would be go to the audio section and scroll down until you find the settings for the equalizer, because then you can more or less in your case, you're going to have to adjust both the low bands, this is like bass, and also you probably have to decrease the high pitch sound. This is the hiss that you hear. So you really have two sounds here. So if I, normally this would come up at 0 here. Maybe if I change it to default. Yeah, okay, default. This is the normal way that it would come up. And if we play that, we will hear both the hiss and the hum.
I think we're talking about breathing.
Okay, so they in the older versions, the only thing you could do really was go into the equalizer and try to remove those things. So you would click on settings, and you could just try and play through these various. These are more for music, but you could try to play some of these to see if any of those would adjust your volume. Or you could go into custom, and in custom you would lower down both some of the bass here and some of the high treble sounds. That would kind of enhance it a little bit. Okay, you can see you need to play around with that for a while. Now, if you have version 13 or 14, your next option in the video is to actually, before you put it onto the timeline, is to select your video. And here what I've done is I've just made a copy of your video, and you would right click on that, and then they have this AI vocal remover option. It's a free option. And what it does is if you have a song, it would separate the vocal from the background music. And you could take advantage of that here, but it has to be done up here on the thumbnail, not down on the timeline. And I'll show you what happens when you do that. We will go ahead and run the vocal remover. And depending on the speed of your computer, this could take some time or maybe just a little time. But we will end up with 3 tracks. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this, I think, while it finishes. Okay, there we go. We now have the 3 tracks. We have the original, and then we have the voice and the background. And if we drag them down here, then we can listen to each one of them. This would probably be your best step. We're going to have to turn this off. We're going to turn this off. And all we're going to do is we're just going to listen to the voice.
We're going to start at the head. We'll be right with the tones.
So this does an excellent job of removing all of that background
I think we're
stuff.
talking about breathing.
But I think up here on some of these bands here, I think particularly right in here and right in here, you're going to get a little hiss on it.
We designate breathing for God because we're doing it right. They're not really constant.
Okay, so again, you can play a little bit with the equalizer here and on this track, and you could try to boost the bass a little bit. I'm just guessing at these. This is mostly trial and error on your part, but just to get rid of some of the kind of garbage can sound. And let's see if we improve that.
We designate breathing for God because we're doing it right.
Not necessarily in my case here, but as I say, if you go through these and test various combinations, or go down to the custom and play with it until you can find something that's something's pleasant, you know. So obviously we did pick up some of the reverb and whatever. So that's one way that you could improve the voice. But now you did have some music, I would say, in the background. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with all the terminology what you have there, but anyway, there is some music which is embedded within all that background noise. But anyway, you could work on this first of all. The other thing you can do is, especially in version 14, I don't think it was available in version 13, is the voice enhancer. You can try and improve your voice with that. Let's look at some of this here, and we can play that back a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Because it makes people forget, they do. Right, they don't really concentrate on what's in there. But one of the surefire ways to create an anxiety is to own your breathe.
Okay, let's get where we're talking again here.
Best way to breathe if you can is in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Anyway, you can play with that a little bit, or you can go down here. We'll play a little bit more with this within the, let's turn off the voice and just focus on the background. And we'll start that. We'll select that. Now, what we're going to attempt to do here is to salvage your music portion of it. Right now we know that it's pretty awful. Okay, so we hear that there's a lot of hiss. So we could activate wind removal and see if that improves. Not really. Then we could do the normal denoise. Let's see if that improves. Not much at that level. We could try and increase it to 100% and see. It did take some of it. We noticed that we have a little bit of reverb in there, but the other one is the hum and hiss. Let's just deactivate the denoise and then use hiss removal, and let's see if we can remove anything there. Okay, you can tell by using the hiss removal, we remove that high-pitched sound, and we can compare that to your original soundtrack right here. I'm not sure that I did. Let's go back here and play it, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of hiss, but there's also hum, and this is your treble side and this is your bass side basically. So let's see if we can remove some of that hum. Okay, and it does have, and again, there's ranges in here, so you could try to remove a little less of it or a little bit more of it. Okay, there is, some of that voice is bleeding through there, but again, you can adjust this, and you could try just this reverb here to try to get some of that garbage sound out. Anyway, it's a matter of playing around with it, using these various options that you have. This is mostly all in version 14. I don't believe there's any of this in version 13. This is some of the stuff that they added. But that's how you could go about it. Hopefully you have either version 13 or 14 where you can take advantage of this, of breaking it down. And then you can just silence these things. So now that we've adjusted the background noise and the voice, then we can combine them, and let's see if we get something a little bit better.
We're going to start at the head. Look at the tones.
Okay, so these are your options. I'm not saying that what I just created here is the best combination of sounds. This is something that you yourself would have to sit and play around with in your in your own video. Again, I only have a copy of what you pasted on Facebook, so yours may sound a little bit different. But that's how I would go about fixing it as best as you can.